Hey folks, it's Owen here again. Another battle report from the last Chancellors down in Wicklow. This game is against Sean. He was using his Lizardmen and it was a 250 point game. So we rolled up and we got Battle for the Pass. And a disclaimer for this, and I have to say it to Sean because I completely forgot. I just realised that I actually used an extra eagle, and so I'm a big cheat, so I automatically lose. But anyway, the game was very good and I don't think the eagle mattered too much anyway. So, picture my spells, and I got Fiery Convocation, Arcane Forging, Walk Between Worlds, and Soul Quench. I'm pretty sure I got a different spell, but I swapped it for Soul Quench. Could be the big template one. But it's quite a good set of spells there from the. So, moving on to the deployment. Sean is deployed as such. What he has here is lots of Scarvets and lots of Saurus, with a couple of Skinks thrown in as well. So it's going to be pretty tough. He's got a Scarvet there on the left hand side, Cold One, Spear, Light Armor, Shield, and another one just in front of the Skinks there, who's exactly the same loadout. In between them, he's got 12 Skinks skirmishers who have blowpipes, and then the nice purple Saurus warriors. There's 25 of them, and they have a full command. Just in front of them, there's a unit of 8 Cold One Knights who have a full command, and they've also got 2 Scarvets inside. One guy is the same loadout as the other guy, except he's an enchanted shield, and the other guy beside him has a charm shield and a potion of swiftness. Moving on to the right hand side, we have the big unit of Temple Guard with full command, and Mr. Slan is there in the centre. He is the same Slan I've been facing recently, which means he's a bit of an animal. He's the BSB General, Banner of Discipline. He's rolling three channeling dice on a 5 he channels. He can re-roll any dispel attempt. He can do all sorts of stuff. Keep a dice. It's mad the way he does it. The magic phase is just really tough against the Slan. 25 Saurus warriors there on the right with a full command. There's 2 units of Skink skirmishers who have blowpipes just there on the hill, and then the Scarvet on the right hand side, same loadout as the other guys. And then we're over to High Elves. What have I got here? I have myself Iridian Reavers at the front. They've vanguarded up. They've just got bows. I have a bolt thrower there on the right and some archers beside them, 15 archers. Behind them is the Frost Phoenix and the Banger Eagle, who shouldn't be there, but he's nicely painted, so we'll let him away with it. I have 20 Phoenix Guard just in front of them, my staple Phoenix Guard, who I'm probably going to put down to 18 soon. So I can put them 6x3 and maybe fit in something else. But anyway, they've got a full command on the Razor Standard, and the BSB is in there as well, with his Reaver Bow and his Shield and Murworm. Beside him, I have the Archmage in a unit of 20 Spearmen. I seem to have forgotten to put in the 20 Spearmen there. He's my usual level 4 with high magic. He's got a Book of Oath and a Talisman of Preservation. So over to the left hand side, and I have my 15 archers just there on the left, bolt thrower beside him. 20 sword masters with full command there in the middle, and there's the spearmen. I didn't think I'd put them in. Spearmen, standard of discipline, and they're just a standard because I didn't have the points to add in a full command. And then there's 5 Iridian Reavers just in front of them with bows, and they've also vanguarded up there too. Okay, High Elf turn 1, and all my movement was pretty much just to move the Reavers around. I think I left everything else where it was. I didn't really want to move anyone too close to all those Saurus warriors. So on to the magic phase, and I didn't really have anything to cast in this phase. I think it's 3 or 4 dice, but all I needed to do was try and get an extra ward save on my mage and maybe his unit as well. So cast and Walk Between Worlds. Sean didn't bother to dispel because he wanted to keep a dice for his magic phase. So off it went, and that was it. Side note is I have a lower master there and a sword masters who I forgot to actually put into the start. I think he just has the 4+ ward save for the first wound and a spell scroll. Yeah, that's the only thing he has. Anyway, on to Lizardmen turn 1, and what Sean does here is that he declares a charge at the bottom there with Scarvet on the Reavers, who flee, and they really flee, because they flee right through their friends, the Reavers, their friends the Swordmasters. I believe they clipped the Spearmen as well, who also had to take a test, plus the Eagle, and then I think they missed the ball thrower. They did miss the ball thrower. So I'd take 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, and they hit the building and went out the other side. For the Scarvet, he only rolled, I think it was a 4 in the dice, so he didn't go very far. But all the tests were passed, luckily enough. I think the Eagle was the only one who was dodgy one because he wasn't in range of my BSB. Everybody else was. So Lizardmen turn 1 movement, and Skinks move up a bit, just ahead of the guy who failed his charge. The Colwyn Knights passed their, I think that everybody passed their stupidity because he has 3 dice on his leadership test, so no problems there. So they all move up there in the front. And on the left hand side then they do exactly the same thing. The Slan just moves up just before the building there. He just needs to go too far. I think he's got range for all his spells anyway. And the left hand side, more Skinks arrive. They're going to be a bit of a problem. So absolutely nothing happened in the magic phase for the lizards for a change, and he was too far away to shoot me. So on to High Elf turn 2. So movement wise, the Eagle flies up there in between the Reavers, who move over to the side just to block these guys over here. Well, not block, but force them to charge, so we'll flee, and hopefully they'll be able to just not catch me and hold up for another turn or 2. On the right hand side there we have at the top, the other Aurelian Reavers rallied, and they've moved over that direction just to stop the Cole one. Well, I think he's in another picture. And then I just moved the Eagle over a bit to the left hand side. Not the Eagle, sorry, the Frost Phoenix. And yeah, over up in the top of the picture we have the Reavers who rally, so they pop themselves over there, so there's going to be a bit of fleeing going on in the next turn. Nobody else moves too far though. And onto the magic phase. So I whip off a Soul Quench and get through with 3 of these knights, which is very nice, seeing as Colwyn Knights have a +1 armor save and they're a tough bunch. Unlucky for Sean rolling the 1s, but delighted for myself. Fortunately, I went off with Irresistible Force, which means that we had to roll on the table. Luckily enough, we only got a 7, so 2 of my lads die. I got a 6 as well to save one of them because of my ward save. So lucky stuff for the High Elves there. Just a little picture from shooting phase. No point having 2 of them for these Skinks, so I just popped them in there and we got rid of a couple of them. But definitely deserving its own slide is the Bolt Thrower that pierced the Scarvet right in the head. So 1 Scarvet down and a good few more. So on to Lizardmen turn 2. And not so hot because Colwyn Knights declared charge on the Reavers, who obviously run away. Scaredy cats always run away. He tests to redirect into the archers, which he does successfully. I measured it and it was an 11. I said, well, 3 dice, well, maybe not. I said, you know what, we'll stand and shoot. Sean rolls a 12, in they go. Good news for Sean, but also good news for me, because apparently High Elf bows are quite the danger to these guys, and 3 more go down when they come in. So, yeah, we're dead, but at least we kill someone on the way in. And another charge at the top over here. Scarvet goes charging into my Reavers, who run away. Declares another charge on these guys, the archers at the top. Unlike their friends down below, they're not as happy to see a Scarvet coming into them, so they run as well. It doesn't manage to catch me, so at least we get away and we can reform in the next turn. The rest of the movement then is just him and his little Skinks running up. They're probably going to start puking their little poison bows all over me, but I think I should be okay over here. I'm hoping to get rid of that Scarvet. And top again, the Skinks just get themselves into position to poison the bejesus out of me. And then the slants slowly roll across the field. I don't know why, but I'm really afraid of these slan. Now, Sean said to me at the end of the game, you shouldn't bother being afraid of them because they're not that good. I don't think he's right, but I think I'm going to have a game where I go straight into them and see what happens in the combat phase, just to see how I end up. So, Lizardmen magic phase, and this turns out to be not crucial, but it does turn out to be a thing that I should have copped. Sean casts a small spell, Walk Between Worlds, which I have myself. I know what it does. I'd look at it and go, well, what's he going to do here? Nothing's going to really matter. So I let it go because obviously he's got better spells coming. Unfortunately, he does a really good thing, and he moves his Skinks up right in front of my Frost Phoenix, just so I can't get a side charge. And I'm pretty sure I can't get a side charge because there is more than an inch there. I think it's it's less than an inch from the edge of the Cohen Knights to the skink, so I wouldn't be able to fit in there. I'm pretty sure. Plus, he obviously gets close to me, so he can spit all over me with his poison darts. But it was a silly move for me not to think about that. Instead of thinking what maybe or might happen, I just let it go because I didn't really give a shit. And that's one thing I have to stop doing. But what can you do? It's through. Get on with it. Combat phase, actually sorry, shooting phase. The skinks at the top spit, and they spit at my bolt thrower for some reason. I think he really should have gone for the Phoenix, but he spits at the bolt thrower and only kills one guy. Lucky for me, which means I still get to shoot. And the skinks near the terrain there shoot at the eagle, who manages to survive after all that, and he still has a wound left, although he is a banger, so he doesn't deserve to be there in the first place. Close combat, and the elves are dead. Well, the elves aren't actually dead, and I was very, very lucky. Elves hit them, and we actually killed the guy, funnily enough. I think we got 2 wounds through, and he got a 1. Poor old Sean's running a lot of 1s. Attacks back from his 2 Scarvets got rid of. They actually got rid of 10 guys. Now, he had 2 Colwyn Knights and 2 Colwyns to go. Hit nothing, wounded nothing. I still have a rank. He doesn't have a rank. I'm steadfast. And only because of his unlucky rolls at the end, we're still there. And he would be going, I don't know what the hell he'd be doing. He'd be going through all over the place, and I'd be taking tests everywhere. But because of just a couple of bad rolls, we get lucky. We're rolling on a general's leadership, and we make it. Which means that we're going to have a bit of fun now. And fun is what they're going to have. So the Phoenix Guard go into the side of the Colwyn Knights. I mean, strength 4 armor piercing, it's not exactly amazing, but it mightn't be too bad, especially with 3 ranks of these guys chopping up. So you never know. Frost Phoenix, I was going to put him into this. Well, I was going to try and fudge it maybe and see if I could fly into the side. But look, it's a friendly game. There's no point fucking around. And there's other things to kill. So fancy Frost Phoenix flies over and goes into the Scarvet, who was going to be a nuisance anyway. In the meantime, the Reavers, who have fled again, rallied, and they got ready to get their bows out and shoot those little skinks. So hopefully between them and the bow throwers should be able to get rid of them. Well, get rid of enough of them anyway. So the rest of them in movement, and the Reavers at the bottom, who had rallied, or sorry, who had fled, rally again and move back into position, and the archers at the top also rally. Looking at this, it was probably the wrong place to put the Reavers, really, but yeah, I should have put them right in front of that bolt thrower so he wouldn't be able to go anywhere near it. But anyway, they've rallied, and that's where they are. So it looks like my magic phase is a bust. I don't actually remember the 3rd magic phase. So straight on to shooting, and very disappointingly, we only kill 4. And if I remember rightly, 3 of those were from the Reavers. The bow thrower only killed 1. 3's the hit. 2's the wound. Kill 1. Disaster zone. So we're going to have a small problem on our hands later on. So onto the high elf, not magic phase, onto the high elf chopping phase. So Phoenix Guard do exactly what I want them to do, and they chop up those Scar veterans. They chop up the Colwyn Knights, should I say. The Scar veterans get away. We lost all the archers. Boo-hoo, who cares? We got rid of those 2 guys, and we had enough ranks and charge and banner and all that sort of stuff that he was rolling. I think it was on a 4. 4 or 5, whatever it was. So, boom, they went off. Now, I'm not sure how this was supposed to happen. I think we were supposed to roll separately because they're independent characters now and the unit is dead. But then again, I wasn't too sure what was going on. So we just rolled for the 2 of them, and I fired through and ended up going into the side of these guys. So at least I'm going to hopefully get rid of these. And even if those veterans do rally, we should still be able to kill the skinks and go through and charge into another one. So, well, fingers crossed, we'll see how that goes. And over here, the Frost Phoenix does a great job. He takes a wound. He also gets 1 off the Scarvet. So he wins by... He only won by 1 actually, but he still failed. So I overran. to catch him, which I did. Now, unfortunately, I think I only rolled a 6 or something like that. So the Saurus warriors up there in the top left can see me, and they will probably be looking to charge me. And there's no chance of me fleeing, because if I do, I'll be gone. And that's exactly what the Lizardmen do in turn 3. These guys declare a charge on Frosty. Frosty says, well, I can't go anywhere, so let's go. And these guys fail the charge, so we're very lucky. Other charges on turn 3 for the Lizardmen. Then the Scar Veteran declares a charge on the Reavers, who run away again. Off they go. He redirects though into the Bolt Thrower. Can't do anything, so in he goes. We pass a panic test over there with the archers as well, luckily enough, which was on an 8. And the rest of the movement for the Lizardmen obviously is the 2 lads down the bottom here rally. So quite important for him. He angles the one at the bottom, so he's able to get a charge on a couple of things there. And I think he's kind of just resigned to getting charged by my Phoenix Guard when they kill his skinks. So clever thing to do is just have him face him. At least he won't have the side flank -1, you know. So the other movement, the skinks there move around the side, so they're going to put a few shots on my my sword masters. And the skinks down the bottom here, this is also the shooting phase too. They move down and they shoot at the eagle, who's dead. So banger eagle didn't do anything, so at least he's dead, so I don't feel guilty. So there. Meanwhile, Scarvet number 4 or 5, whatever the hell he is, batters the Bolt Thrower and he overruns into these guys here. I don't know why Sean actually overran. Anyway, dead. There he is. Phoenix Guard do another great job for me. Get rid of those 5 guys, and then roll a nice high 7 and go straight into Scar Veteran number 2. Oh, so high off turn 4, and I was actually just sorry, pause there for a second, not knowing why there was an arrow in the middle of nowhere. What happened was the Reavers did not rally on the 9 and rolled an 11, and off they went. So my other movement over here is just to turn the Sword Masters and turn the Archers, really. Nothing much for me to do against these guys. I'm kind of at their mercy because they move so fast. Other movement, then I just moved the Reavers over here just to get a couple of shots in, maybe kill a couple of them. There's nothing else I can do again. And moving for the Frost Phoenix, I really needed him to get out of the way. I mean, I'm not going to charge him into a full unit of Saurus Warriors. I'm not even going to kill that many, and I'll lose by... Well, he'll be starting up on... He's got a full command, so he's got a banner and 3 ranks. So he's starting up on a 4, you know. There's no point in me doing anything like that, so just fly him around the back. So high off magic phase, and fiery convocation goes off. Sent it off on the unit nearest to Frost Phoenix. So if I do whittle him down enough, I'll be able to go in maybe and tackle him just to see if I can knock him down. I don't really fancy any of the Temple Guard coming over as well, but we'll see what happens. Rolled pretty well, killed quite a lot of these guys, which is good. And this is going to be on as well, so he's going to have to dispel it, or he's going to probably lose the rest of the unit in a couple of turns. But a successful fiery convocation comes at a high price. Rolling the level on the misfire table, which isn't good, and get myself D3 wounds, or sorry, D3 levels gone. So I lose 3 levels, lose that spell, and also lose Walk Between Worlds and Arcane Fortune. So at least I still have Soul Quench for a nice blaster of a spell, but everything else is gone, and my Dispel ability is fucked. But anyway, onto the shooting, and I make a small mistake here, and I'm very lucky that Sean doesn't take the other 2 skinks other than the 2 on the left. Shoot my archers at this unit, and I get rid of 3 of those guys. What I didn't realise was if he'd taken the other 2 away, he could have charged my sword masters. Probably went straight into my lower master and put his axe through his head. So I was lucky that my idiocy and my bloodlust didn't get me killed there. Lucky, so I got away with it. So on to the combat, and the Phoenix Guard do it again. They kill Mr. Scarvet, but they roll a double 1 to overrun. Don't get into this guy, which means that he's going to charge something, and it won't be the Phoenix Guard. No, it won't, because Lizardmen turn 4, he goes straight into the bolt thrower, which is the right thing to be doing, because you could get rid of that fool and you stop shooting at you. Meanwhile, the Phoenix Guard will be doing Ring a Rosie for the next couple of turns. Great news. Other movement here, so the Skinks go into the building, there's only 2 left now, and Scarvet turns around. He's going to charge, probably charge into those guys. He'll be killing a good few. We might have a rank bonus, but he'll get rid of 4 or 5 if he gets into combat, so let's hope that doesn't happen. So, magic phase for the Lizardmen, and as far as I remember, Sean cast, or attempted to cast, Arcane of Fortune on my wizard, trying to get rid of that Book of Oath because it's deadly. Failed to cast, unbelievably, on 4 dice, and he had 4 left, so he tried to dispel Fiery Convocation. He also failed to dispel that, so not a good magic phase for the Lizardmen. Meanwhile, 4 more Saurus are dead, and the spell is still going, so good stuff. Lizardmen shooting phase. The dirty Skinks turn around and they blow away 2 of my Reavers. So what? Who cares? But this is a different story. Scarvet takes out the bolt thrower and he will then reform, which I actually missed in this picture. Maybe I'll get it in the next one. But good riddance to that, he says. Yeah, so high off turn 4, and you can see the Scarvet in there on the right is reformed. I kind of made a massive, useless, idiotic error here and brought my Phoenix back over onto my side. I should have either have charged into the Saurus to maybe kill him, or flown all the way around the other side of the board to get out of the way of anybody, because there's not much point in me losing my 240 Phoenix. But cockiness set in and not thinking has set in, as it usually does in my games. So Phoenix flies over here to aid me against the Skinks and the Scar Veteran, as if we can't take care of them already. Fucking hell. And Phoenix Guard turn around and just give the Scar Veteran eyes, I suppose. Give him a dirty look. More movement then. I get the Reavers and move them up, so they won't be in any skink zone. They might be able to get a couple of shots off a Saurus Warrior, just to keep the points in there, really. The Swordmasters move over in that direction, so they're trying to box in this fucking Scarvet. And archers they actually just turn around. They swift reform, turn around to shoot at this guy. So the magic phase, and wonderfully enough, a Searing Doom is set off. Unfortunately, I roll a 1 for a hit. But I do roll a 1 for a wound, so he doesn't get to save that. So he's down to 1 more. He's down to 1 wound. That's not bad. And the High Elf Bowmen prove their worth once again. I've always had faith in these guys. And they put a couple of wounds on this guy. He rolls a 1, and off he goes. So Lizardman turn 5. And Sean says, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to surround your Phoenix, because what I didn't say is that in my magic phase I rolled a double 1, which means that my Phoenix's ward save is now 6. Shy. So even though I got to channel and then cast Searing Doom, he couldn't stop. Yeah, whatever. My Phoenix is in deep shit. He's in deep shit. He's in trouble. Meanwhile, Scarvet does his little dance and he goes around the other side of my Phoenix Guard. Other Lizardmen movement then. The Lizardmen there in the front, who have lost a few more due to Fiery Convocation, turn around and move over towards me again. And the other 2 Saurus units, whatever the big unit is called again, I can't remember, they turn around and get ready to move back towards me. They've done nothing really, so I suppose he still has his points, and that's the main thing, and that's the problem really. I didn't get any points off these guys. Lizardman shooting then, and exactly what happened happened. He gets 4 poison through. I don't save any with my armor. I don't save any with my ward. Toast. Phoenix is gone, and will I ever learn my lesson? I probably won't. What can you do? Phoenix is dead. Okay, so High Elf turn 6. And to be honest, I was sick and tired of turning around trying to shoot this guy, so I just let them stay where they are. If he charges me, so what? I mean, we're going to be steadfast. We've got loads of ranks. We'll probably take a wound off him or something. Maybe we might just take a wound. So I'm going to hit the Reaver Bow and throw it into the Skinks or something like that. Maybe I can panic him. Then movement, I just... the Sword Masters have charged the building to get rid of those 2 skinks, get a couple of more points, and I just moved my Reavers back towards my lines. There's no point being stupid to get rid of more points. I mean, it is 100 points at the end of the day. Fiery Convocation burns off the rest of these guys, and there's only 1 left. So, hopefully, it might go off in his phase if he manages to not to dispel it, and I might just get the points for that unit. So combat, and the Sword Masters get rid of those skinks and they take the building. Waste of time, but points are points. So Lizardmen turn 6, and Sean says, screw it, I might as well go in and see if I can kill your BSB. So that's exactly what he does. He goes straight in there, and we're going to have a bit of a fight. So not much other stuff, movement there from the Lizardmen, so straight to magic. Sean rolls pretty high, I think he has 8, 9 dice, throws them all in, gets rid of Fiery Convocation. So he keeps the points with his unit. Screw it. Meanwhile, what I do here is actually I challenge with my unit champion. So he kills my unit champion. So what? BSB is still alive. Meanwhile, we win by, let's see, he got a wound off me. He didn't do any overkill, so 1 wound. We have 1, 2, 3. I think he was rolling on the 5s or something like that. But 3 dice. I mean, cold-blooded. He still held, and that was the end of the game. So game over, and another interesting game against the Lizardmen. I just seem to be afraid going against these guys because the big blocks are really, really scary unit. They look so scary. I mean, they look like they're really going to beat you up. Plus, you're afraid if they get a double team on you, you're fucked. I suppose maybe next time I might be a little bit more aggressive, but High Elves generally can't be that aggressive because we just don't have the strength or the weight in numbers. I think that it was a good game for me. I did make a mess of my Phoenix. Well done. I always make a mess of something. Unfortunately, it was 240 points or something. If I hadn't lost that, it would have been a major victory. Because of that, it was only minor. I think I won by 200 odd points, which isn't much. And that's pretty much it. That was a good game. I enjoyed it. And hopefully, next time I fight the Lizardmen, I'm going to do a bit better. I'm going to have to concentrate and try and isolate one of the units. But anyway, good game. Good game, Sean, if you're listening. And talk to you again. Thanks for listening.